Yo, people, you telling me back again for another Red Talk Flawless? What's good, my brother?
Yeah, I'm blessed, fam. You all good, yeah?
Yeah. Man's cool, man's cool. Can't even complain, man. Big up the chat. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, quite a few things to discuss, bro. So yeah,
Yes,
man, big
yes.
up the chat. Obviously, these Cunha links are
You
they're
know,
gathering pace at the moment,
yeah,
bro.
heating up, yeah, because it was yesterday that it broke, like afternoon, like was when I first initially seen it. And we're saying
Mm,
Manchester United are strongly interested in Cunha. Hey, if we can go get big up to the chat as always, let me still state that as well. You go
hmm
get him. Of course, I've been sold on Cunha. I think he's cold. And if you get him at the right price, definitely. And I think that left side 10 suits him even more than playing as a 10 in a 4-2-3-1, for example. Like, because he's very good, because not only is he very good centrally, he also has like the pace, athleticism, and the skill to like drift out wide if he wants to and isolate a fullback. So I'm with it with Cunha. Been impressed. Every time I watch him, every time. I think he's good. Big fan.
Yeah, man. I just think he just suits the kind of signings we should be making in terms of Premier League proven.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Premier League proven, you know what you're gonna get from him. No adaptation period is gonna be necessary. And I think that we need a few of those players. I think if we sign a few of those players that come into the team and we know for sure that they're definitely gonna improve us, I think it takes us up the table quite quickly.
Of course, because he brings you mentioned it there, there's less doubt on him. There's not like, oh, how's he going to acclimatize to a new league? How does he acclimatize to a new country, a new culture, etc., etc. So yeah, with Cunha, definitely because he gives you certified goals and assists. You know he's giving you output number one, and number two, you know he's a foil for others as well. Because
Mm.
without him, Wolves probably get relegated. That shows the difference maker he is. Take him out of that side. Big up my bro Sheik every single time as well. So that tells you all you need to know with him. And then if you get him and you get another attacker, let's say we do sign a striker, that improves our attack so much. Because Cunha's quality. And there's not
Yeah.
really attackers at Wolves you look at outside of him and go, oh, they're incredible. Like the bulk of the pressure is on him when it comes to that team. And he's done the business. That's why they didn't want to sell him in January, because they know definitely in trouble in regards to relegation without him. So I've been sold on him.
No,
Been.
100%. So it'd be interesting, yeah, if United are in for him. And if they are in for him, who else they are in for? Because they're saying 62 million release clause or something like that. And if that's the case, yeah, then is that all the business we're doing in that number 10 position? To be fair, we don't need to do loads of business there anyway, because I think that Kobe Minos, he fits into that 10 position. Obviously, Ahmad can play there, Xerxes can play there.
I like
Um,
it.
I don't like Bruno there, but the manager can use him there. So I don't think we need more than 110.
I'm cool with that in regards to it. You mentioned it there. Cunha would be the marquee guy to go there, but you got Maino who can play there, like you mentioned. Ahmad can play there, needs must, depending on what we do with the right wing back situation.
I think
You
he'll
got
play right wing
Xerxes.
back though.
Yeah, you got Xerxes who can play there as well. I really like Xerxes there, actually. I think his attributes fit. Like, I look at him and I go, I prefer you more as a 10 than I do a 9, to be honest. And so, yeah, definitely in regards to the 10s, it's more so everywhere else because we know how much this team needs to improve everywhere. That's why when people ask me the question and say, oh, what would you prioritize, this position or this position? No, everywhere. Because if we go get Cunha and a striker, but don't sign 2 central midfielders, we're going to be in trouble. If we sign 2 central midfielders and don't get Cunha and a striker, we're going to be in trouble. Because, all right, the midfield sorted, but the attack's still a problem. All right, the attack sorted, but then the midfield's still a problem. We need 5 or 6 players. I think we all know this, and starters, and Cunha would be a good start. Because, like I said, he adds some much needed, got his outputs there. He's a foil for the team and some much needed athleticism as well. On the break, he can shift, which is what we need. And these players, like we say it all the time, how much football, especially with the conversation about it being too robotic and it being a system game and how it's athletes. Go get some athletes. We're the only team in the league, and it's like I look at us and I go, we just lack athletes. Of course, you
Would
want them
you
to
would
have
you say
technical ability
Cunha?
as
Would
well.
you say Cunha fits into that then?
Yeah, in regards to it, yeah, because he can run past the man. I
Mm.
trust Cunha to do that. Not only can he carry the ball, carry dribble with the ball, off the ball as well. If we transition and then Cunha's in the attack, I trust us to do something. I'm like, all right, you're going to do that. And then if you surround him with more of that, so imagine him on the left with Dorgu overlapping. That's what I'm talking about. Because Dorgu adds much needed that. Does he need to improve in certain areas, Dorgu? Yeah, but I think Dorgu helps Cunha so much because even in that City game, constant. His engine's ridiculous every time. There was a time where Garnacho had the shot. He should have played him the ball and it went out from a corner. But see how much ground Dorgu made up. I was like, damn.
Yeah, he's a machine.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about in regards to that, because he's just constantly going to be on the overlap, which allows Cunha to either play him the ball, isolate whoever he's facing, or play a pass inside to the striker or the other 10 or whoever. So he fits it. I really like him. Agility, balance. And like I said, some directness, but direct with a purpose, not Garnacho directness. Actually dribble past someone, which is where I'm at. Because I've seen some stats and it was saying, shout out to Sheik showing me the stats, like Garnacho was bottom for that. He was lowest. He was last ranked in terms of attackers of going past his player. So Cunha changed tenfold.
Cunha's quick, yeah, but he's also physically strong and he's technical. I think I think he fits the profile of what we need, and he can play in the right 10 and the left 10. I think he can play in both of them. I think he's a very good player for what we need. Yeah, I think he is. Obviously, the price. Is he worth that? Maybe in this market, bro. I don't love the price. Do you know what I mean? I don't love 60 odd million for him. I don't love that. However, I think it's more of a 45 million player personally. But I think in this current market, yeah, you kind of just have to. You just kind of have to accept it. Yeah.
And the reason why I'm thinking about it here, when you look at all the top teams in the big six, who does he not go in and start for and instantly improve? That's what you're playing for. For us, without doubt, he definitely does. City have fallen off a cliff. He definitely starts for them. Liverpool, even though they've been there about to win the league, he starts for them. Arsenal, he's better than whoever they have over on the left-hand side. Spurs, what's understood ain't got to be spoken about. We've seen all the criticism Chelsea's attackers are holding. That's it. So if we're talking about a player who is not only Prem proven, starts for all the rivals and improves all of them, go get him. Go get him. Maybe at Newcastle, you're looking at it and go, all right, he might not start ahead of Gordon. But other than that, I look at it around it. He even as good as Villa have been. Imagine you put him in Villa's side alongside Watkins and Rodgers.
Oh, he's a Villa style player in a sense. The freedom he'll get at Aston Villa, he ain't getting that freedom at Man United. And
that's my point.
Them man paid 60 million for Pedro Neto, Chelsea, and he looks rubbish.
Yeah, there we go then. And Cunha, I think, is a better version of a Neto, because he's going to give you more output. Because Neto gives you the directors and the directness and the dribbling ability, but like you said, the strength, that raw power that you need. And he is more. I would prefer 50, but we are not dealing from a negotiation.
Physicality definitely favors Cunha on that side.
Yeah, like he's 50. He is. Like I'm looking at, think about it. Villa, you mentioned, if he goes there, how much does he improve them? It's probably just Newcastle. Brighton, what does he do there? Like all the teams are Bournemouth, for example. Imagine him on one wing and Semenyo on the other. You know what I'm saying? Or even him in the 10 for a Bournemouth, for example.
But this is why I liked the idea of Semenyo, because he gives that that physicality. You know what I'm saying? He gives that. He reminds me of Valencia in that sense. He's proper strong. He ain't getting a ball off that guy.
Powerful.
And I think we need that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that we do need that. And I think that the right-hand side's a problem, because that left 10, to be honest, if the manager's not playing Xerxes in the left 10 week in, week out next season, he's got problems. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been the best player that we've seen this season in that left 10. No one's outperformed Xerxes in that left 10. Nobody. Not Bruno, not whoever else has played there. Not many players have actually played in that left 10. Mason Mount, but none of them have outperformed Xerxes.
So we only see Mano there. We only see Mano there like twice.
10. Exactly, but Kobe can't play that left 10 better than Xerxes. He just can't. Yeah, can't. He can't play that left 10 better than Xerxes, bruv. He just can't, innit? Like, he just doesn't have he don't have the ability, bruv. Like, it just is what it is, bro. He's not a better footballer. So he just, like, Kobe's not going to do better than what Xerxes does in that left 10. It's impossible. He doesn't have the attributes. So it's one of them things where I can't see a world in which anyone should be replacing Xerxes in that left hand, bro. No one. I think he's done enough to really have cemented his place in the team in that position specifically.
I think so in regards to this season, definitely, because we've barely seen Mano there, and he's the only other player I would put up in that position because he's the only other player I think who plays in the left end who has any form of X factor. Like, we know Bruno's limited, Garnacho, the less said, the better. But if we were to sign Cunha, what I like is competition. This is what's required. Whereas if Cunha knows, let's say we do sign Cunha and he's playing and he's not playing well, Xerxes can take his spot. Same way, Xerxes, if he's playing and not playing well, does Cunha, or whoever the right-sided 10 is, you could have him. Big up to Abdi as well for the gifting the 10 memberships. You have Cunha play left 10 and you have Xerxes play right 10, or you have Xerxes left 10 or Cunha right 10. This is what we're talking about. Again, on the wing-back situation, Ahmad will more than likely, I think, play right wing-back, even though we've been linked. But again, options. Like, this is what we want, and options of quality as well, because our attack is lacking desperately. As bad as this team is, our attack lacks all over. So it's like, go and get these players. So I'm a big fan of Cunha. And if, let's say, we start and it's Cunha and Xerxes in the 2-10s, cool. I like Xerxes. He's impressed me in the 10. I'd rather see Xerxes in the 10 than I do the 9 in this system in particular. Because someone said to me, oh, in a 4-3-3, Xerxes, and yeah, in a 4-3-3, Xerxes is a 9 with pace off of him because he can drop in and he can.
Yeah, but in this system, yeah,
it's a 10.
The 9 gets isolated a lot, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And it's like
that's not his game.
The lack of quality in the 10s means that you don't get the best out of him. Because even when he drops in, he's great, but the 10s are not. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I can't lie. The 10s are what's letting down this system if Xerxes not in the 10. He's been by far the best 10 that we've seen in this system. Whilst the manager, because even Ahmad's better at wing back, bro. In the 10, Ahmad's had some really quiet games, bro. Like, whether people want to admit it or not, like, he struggles in that 10 position in this system, bro. As wing back is when he's been free, blood, to really show his skills, bro. Because like the 1v1 skills and the way he takes players down the outside and stuff like that, he's only really been able to do that as a wing back, bruv, because that's where the space is. In that 10, you don't really get the space to face people up. So,
and especially with the lack of quality around you, you ain't, because he's getting doubled up on, tripled up on when he's played the 10 as well. And obviously he's coming from a winger background, playing as a winger, where you're more used to operating centrally. I just think we see better from an Ahmad, better from a Xerxes. Once this is gonna sound stupid, but once you see better quality around them, because what can you do? These players are foils they're not good for themselves, they're foils for nobody. Hoyland don't help anybody else. He don't do anything to go, all right, at least you might not be the best player, but you're effective. At least if you're not the best as an individual and your individual qualities ain't that good, you are good for the team, you are good for others. Hoyland and Garnacho ain't. Bruno to a lesser extent than those two, but he's not. It's like no one really plays back. Like, at least you can say, all right, Ahmad helps. Ahmad playing at wing back is going to occupy that fullback. He's a threat, which automatically makes more space for whoever your left wing back is. Or if Cunha's playing as a left-sided 10, automatically Dogu getting more space. Because the fullback more likely to, hey, you know what, let me come across. Cunha's here, for example. And that's with anyone, but it's a distinct lack of quality. Same way with the striker. You mentioned the striker being good in isolation. That's why I want Oshim. Because I think in isolation, he will destroy this league.
I understand that. But that's why I like Mateta. And that's why also Delap, another player we've been linked to, in isolation. He holds the ball well. He turns and drives with it well. He links with it well. I think from a technical standpoint, he's one of the best center forwards that we could get, Delap.